South Korea's Yonhap news agency reports that technology companies such as Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix have been granted a waiver by the United States to use their US-made chip equipment in China. This will enable them to supply these chips to their Chinese factories without requiring separate US approvals. It says that this permission will be granted indefinitely. In October 2022, the United States implemented stringent regulations to hinder China's ability to obtain or manufacture advanced semiconductor chips. Chinese tech firms like Huawei were targeted, citing national security worries. The US has been urging its allies to do the same, exerting pressure on them. China challenged the chip export control measures imposed by the US at the World Trade Organization in December. They argued these restrictions pose a significant risk to the stability of global industrial supply chains. Despite the numerous sanctions imposed, the US is willing to grant exceptions to its allies, as evidenced by the recent waiver granted to South Korean companies. This move is a significant development in the ongoing trade war between the US and China, because it allows South Korean companies to continue their operations in China without being affected by US sanctions. Samsung and SK Hynix are one of the major players in the global semiconductor industry. Their factories in China are crucial for them to keep supply chains. The waiver will allow them to continue to use US-made equipment in their Chinese factories, which would have otherwise been subject to US export controls. This will help them maintain their competitiveness in the global market. Also, it will avoid disruptions to their operations. Not only South Koreans, the waiver is also expected to benefit the US semiconductor industry as well. US companies are now able to continue their supply of equipment to Samsung and SK Hynix, which are major customers. This will help support US jobs and the economy. The waiver for Samsung and SK Hynix is good for South Korea and the US. They can keep doing business with China and help their industries. However, it is required to see how China will respond to this move. Let me know your thoughts in the comments and be sure to subscribe.